Upon my arrival in South Africa, I started my holiday with a short visit to the Lesedi cultural village nearby Johannesburg. In this village, the locals gave an impression of the many tribes that exist to this day in South Africa, accompanied by a guided tour. They explained their traditional way of life and expressed the role of dancing and music in their cultures. After meeting our group at dinner, we left in the early morning on a long drive with the Lando towards the border of Botswana. Did you know that the currency in Botswana is called pula, which means let there be rain? Botswana is the fourth richest country in Africa due to their diamond industry. Botswana is also the third least densely populated country in the world, as it only has about 2.3 million inhabitants spread out across almost 600,000 square kilometers. While driving across the bridge, you are technically in no man's land, as this river separates the two countries. When entering or exiting Botswana, it is strangely required to disinfect all of your shoes by stepping on a wet doormat, while all vehicles must drive through a puddle of water. This to prevent the spread of foot diseases. From there, we drove to the Kama Rhino Sanctuary. There we set up camp in the middle of the sanctuary, meaning that we could encounter rhinos and other wild animals at any moment. We learned how to build our tents and prepared dinner as the sun did set early. After sitting by the campfire, we went to bed, since this was our coldest night with temperatures dropping to -5 degrees Celsius, while during the day it reached about 30 degrees. We celebrated Kelly's birthday until somebody dropped her cake into the sand. Next early morning, while still freezing, we left on our first safari, exploring the sanctuary. Unfortunately, due to the cold, we did not yet encounter any rhinos, but we did see some other animals. In the afternoon, we traveled to a campsite in Maun. First, we had to pass the Kalahari Desert. Not much privacy when going for a wee next to the road, as we used to call bushy bushy. Maun is considered the capital of tourism in Botswana, so we were happy to find some rather luxurious facilities such as proper showers, toilets and a swimming pool. As the day came to an end, we had dinner at the restaurant. Next up is the Okavango Delta, my personal highlight of this tour. The delta covers an area bigger than Israel, full of wildlife and outstanding nature. We traveled by traditional Mokoros through the delta on our way to set up camp in the middle of the wilderness, unprotected. This boat ride was both beautiful and unnerving, as wild animals could appear all around us. For instance, crocodiles ascending from the unclear water, or buffaloes entering the water from behind the bushes. Any sudden movement could cause the Mokoro to tumble, so we had to stay in balance. It did not take long before we encountered hippos, luckily from a safe distance. We then reached the campsite where we set everything up in between the trees. Here our toilet was just a hole in the ground. We randomly smoked elephant dung as we were told it would have certain health benefits due to the herbs those clever animals eat. We then went for a short hike to explore the surroundings and look for wildlife. Mind that nothing separated our campsite from the animals we encountered in this region. We first saw a large group of hippos. As we approached them closer and closer by foot, they suddenly ran off into the lake. Next to zebras, we also spotted a wildebeest, also known as gnu. The elephants approached our campsite during the night, which caused a dangerous situation. More so, antelopes were hunted by a leopard across the lake next to our campsite, which was also occupied by a lonely hippo. This was perhaps only about 25 meters away from where we sat. We ate dinner next to the fire and listened to our local polars singing. The next day we returned to civilization before continuing our trip to Gweta. On our way, we encountered many elephants next to the road, as Botswana has the largest elephant population worldwide. Later, we also witnessed a breathtaking zebra crossing. We rode to planet Baobab. This campsite is located in between the baobab trees, from which we tasted their fruits and spent time to relax and refresh ourselves. Our final stop in Botswana was Chobe National Park. Here we went on a sunset river cruise. As we observed the beauty of this place. The following day, we went on a safari throughout the actual park. we crossed the border to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. Upon arrival, the women from Planetaria prepared a delicious lunch for us. As such, G Adventures supports their local community and provides them with profitable work. Next up, we visited the falls themselves, but first I took a helicopter flight, leading to astoundingly beautiful shots. Our next stop was Matobo National Park. It is named after the Matopos Hills, which are granite rocks that cover the landscape. Those absurdly large rock formations resulted from erosion. We went on a safari to scout for rhinos and later track them on foot. We spotted 2 rhinos, mother and child, sleeping in the shade beneath a tree. We then continued to look for ancient cave drawings made by the Bushmen. These drawings have been preserved quite well due to them being at the underside of rocks, and since the paint that they used is resistant against weathering. Later we encountered even more rhinos, and they came pretty close again. We went to sleep at the campsite in the middle of the park. The next day we spent mostly on traveling until we arrived back in South Africa. From there we went on our last safari through Kruger National Park. With that, our journey became full circle. Having spotted the Big Five and much more, this trip was without doubt a complete success. especially with our lovely group of fellow travelers with whom I have established good friendships. I express my gratitude to all who have been involved. I hope we will meet again. Please stay tuned, as after the credits a list of highlights has been included, composed by all of our group members. You can pause at any time to read the lines more carefully.